A speaker one sheet? What the heck is that? Well, if you are a speaker, then you know already. But if you're new to speaking, then you may have questions about what is a speaker one sheet and how is that precisely supposed to help you get booked? What should you include and what shouldn't you include? Well, don't worry, I got you covered. Stay tuned because in this next video, I'm going to dive into some great examples of a great speaker one sheet, some do's and don'ts, what to include and what not to include, and how best to use a speaker one sheet to get you booked for your first or next speaking gig. So I'll dive into that in just a moment. But before then, do me a huge favor. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Click on the notification bell so that you can be notified for each and every video that I drop. And if this video is meaningful for you or you get value out of it, do me a huge favor and write a comment, hit the like button, and share it. You never know if this information is going to be of value to someone else. So let's dive in. I've seen lots of speakers sheets, one sheets, media kits, just portfolio examples that come from a variety of speakers, whether they've been the speakers that I've worked with to coach them, to develop them, or because I've sat on several different speaking committees to hire speakers for various events, I've certainly seen them that way. And over the years, there's been a pretty good indication as to why a speaking bureau, a speaker's organization, or anyone for that matter would decide to choose a speaker over another. And I can tell you that you at least can get into the front of the line if you've got a great speaker's one sheet. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what to include and what not to include, and I will be providing you with a couple of examples. But before we do that, I do want to let you know that this comes very natural to me. Storytelling is truly at the heart of what I've spent over 30 years doing. I'm an Emmy award-winning TV host. I'm an author, a speaker, an international speaker. I've talked on a couple of different TEDx stages, and I am a coach. And I've been working with a lot of my clients to really help them develop their voice and their story and find ways to go out and share their story and their message and mission in the world to make an impact and income. And one of the first places that I began working with my clients is on literally putting together a good portfolio. And while it is nice to have a long media kit that you can share with others, when you're just getting started, it's truly important that you at least put things together in what's called a speaker's one sheet or a speaker sheet. So I want to get into a couple of the key components that you're also going to want to use. Give you a real working example of what a speaker's one sheet looks like. And I'm actually taking you behind the scenes inside of one of my courses, Offstage, which is all about mastering the business of public speaking and storytelling. So we're just going to peruse past some of the content that is inside of the course that many people are enjoying to help to put together the fundamental pieces that they need to stand out in the marketplace as a speaker, and dive right into what you need to put together for your speaker's one sheet. So basically, if you've got pen and paper, you can definitely jot this down because I do want this to be in service to each and every one of you all who are watching this YouTube video. But what you're going to need to do for your speaker sheet is to keep it as simple as possible. And first and foremost, you will want to stay on brand with your one sheet. You'll notice here that I have that as step one, right? So you should really be thinking about marrying in your business cards, website, and other collateral. The brand that you've already created for yourself should also be complementary as part of your speaker's one sheet. You, of course, are going to want to include a photo of yourself, your contact information, your name, byline, and content information, as well as any testimonials, whether that's from people who've worked with you in the past, people who've heard you speak, or maybe some organizers who've hired you to speak. You certainly want to include your social media handles with what we call embedded links. So if you're emailing this speaker's one sheet to someone, they could actually click on any of the links that you have inside so that they can actually go right out to your social media. You want to include at least 3 of your main speaking topics, a very short bio, generally not more than 1 paragraph. Any organizations or events that you've worked with in the past would be great. Certainly, if you are an author and you want to include the book cover, that would be great. Any projects that you worked on, you can definitely include that. And what's optional are your rates. Now, I will tell you in most instances that I don't encourage my speakers to include their speakers' fees, but it is optional because we do see many people doing that. These are examples of just some amazing speaker sheets that I have seen in the past. And so I do want to highlight these for you. But what I'm going to do is scoot on down and share with you just an example of a nice outline that you can use. Again, I highlighted what's included, but here is an example of maybe what you want your speaker's one sheet to look like. So of course, your name would go at the very top here, as well as your byline being maybe what you're known for, right? So maybe it's your name, and maybe you use something like be inspired, be motivated, be you. You want to include your website, your phone number, as well as your email address, and then perhaps a quick quote from someone who's worked with you in the past, who loves your work. Maybe, again, it's been an event organizer that had you come and speak. Include that there. You can definitely include any of your links out to your social media. You want to include your speaking topics. Remember, I said if you can highlight 3 of them, great. Another option that I would encourage you to do as well is to put that you can also customize a speaking experience. So you might want to include that as well, your bio. And then here, as seen on or in, this is where you would show the logos of any media that you've been featured in, right? So if you've been on television or on a podcast or radio or in a magazine, you want to put the logos there. And then if you decide that you want to include your speaker's rates, you can definitely include that. So just a little bit of a highlight of whatever you might offer if you're doing a workshop, a keynote address, a half-day seminar, or a full-day seminar, and then what those rates would include. But this is optional. And again, when I work with a lot of my clients, I actually tell them not to include them because we work together to look at how you do have a speaker's fee in place, but you want to begin your negotiations based on what the event is telling you that they have available to pay a speaker's fee. That is a whole nother video that you can watch on my YouTube channel that gets into that. And you can also be in contact with me if you need some support around developing your speaker's one sheet as well as your media kit. And I'll do media kit in another example. But I do want to also encourage you as a final note that you don't need to do this alone. You can find a great graphic designer on Fiverr, and I will of course include a link there for you to work with someone on Fiverr. You can also develop your own with Canva. And so these links will also be available underneath this video for your consideration. So now let's dive into some examples of media kits. Again, media kits being a larger body of work beyond just your speaker's one sheet. This is Corey Walmsley. She's one of my amazing clients who's also in my 90-day mentorship. And as part of her deliverables, Corey put together a really nice media kit. So I'm happy to share her example as well as a few others. So again, I will share with you her one sheet in just a moment, but this shows you the fuller extent of what you can do. So on her first page of her media kit, Corey does a great example of introducing you to her and the work that she does. So this is much more of a detailed look at who Corey is. And then for her bio, it's much more expanded, right? So it's longer formatted. The writing is much more conversational. Because it's so important, particularly with the work that I do with my clients and increasing their visibility and getting them onto more platforms, i.e. podcasts, newspapers, magazines, it's important that we showcase your body of work as it relates to where you've been seen or heard. So beyond showing logos, now we really get into looking at where you've been featured. So here, Corey highlights various different podcasts, TV, radio, publications that she's been featured on as well. And then Corey has authored several books. So she highlights each of her books here, not just one, but many of them. And I know that many of you all watching may in fact have multiple books. So you do want to highlight each of those. And then she gets into more of her Spark method and how she works with her clients and who this is for. So she's very detailed because this media kit can not only be delivered to people who might be interested in learning more about you, but maybe your clients who are interested in hiring you, right? So you give them this as opposed to spending a great deal of time on your website. Corey also highlights the reviews that she's received, as well as testimonials from various clients and other people who have worked with her. She also gets into much more detail of her additional services that she offers. Many of us are multi-talented. We don't just do one thing. So in this case, Corey has highlighted her various services, as well as her workshops and presentations. And then she gets back to, this is her one sheet. So originally this was the one sheet that we worked on, but now she's expanded this she's expanded her media kit to include her one sheet. So if she just wanted to give this to someone as a quick high-level overview, she has it. She's tucked it neatly into her media kit. And you can see here where she's just bullet pointed the speaking topics, her short bio, and then where she's been featured on, and a few testimonials. Additionally, she's done something that I also encourage people to do, and that is to create a list of suggested questions or talking points so that you can also deliver this to someone who's interested in interviewing you. And these days, with so many people having podcasts and blogs and YouTube channels, you can easily come up with a list of questions for people to ask. So I would encourage you to include that in your media kit as well. And Corey, of course, highlights her different books that books by her clients. She actually highlights her clients that she's worked with and their success stories. So that's listed here. And of course, on her final page, how you can get in touch with her so that if you're interested in either working with her, hiring her, or featuring her on your podcast or whatever, you can easily do that. And this is a completed look at a media kit, and I'll share a few more with you. All right, so taking a look at another media kit by another standout coaching client of mine, Deneen Joyner. Deneen has done a beautiful job with coordinating all of her colors and fonts with her website, with her collateral, with her book, with her branding. All of it is all on point, which is so important to do. And again, she's got a single one sheet, but this is her expanded media kit. So I want to show you this as an example. Again, just a quote from someone, her links out to various social media, a more expanded look at her bio and the work that she does about her brand and really how she's come to do the healing work that she does. She also points out, again, as a gifted healer, the work that she can do. And this is very detailed so that anyone who's reading it, who is looking for someone who is clairvoyant, as well as clairaudient and a soul medium and spiritual healer, she truly highlights her gifts and her talents here, which I believe in many cases is important to highlight. She is an author, and so she points out her book, as well as the places that you can find the book on Amazon, as well as Barnes and Noble. She highlights her spiritual workshops, so that if anyone is interested in having her come in to facilitate a workshop, it's all highlighted here. And her signature talk, so this might be something that she would give as a keynote or someone who is a featured presenter, so that people can see that. And then, of course, where people can contact her. So much more expanded, but again, yet another look at what you can do with a media kit. And as a final look at a third media kit, I wanted to share my media kit with you. Of course, I do have a single one page, but my media kit is one that, again, includes my body of work and where it highlights my work as a TV host, speaker, author, coach, activist, and filmmaker. So I break down, obviously, the various categories inside of the media kit that you can see there, as well as my speaking topics. And, you know, I do want to point out that with speaking topics, we all vary with our speaking topics, right? But it's really important to have at least one signature speech. And as you continue to develop your speaking skills and find more speeches to deliver, you can, of course, expand on your speaking topics. So these are just a few of the speaking topics that I've delivered and that I enjoy delivering. Again, a look at my expanded bio. So this is available for anyone to review, and I send this along to prospective organizers for speaking events, as well as for people who are interested in interviewing me. I also give this to my clients. So your media kit is truly an expansion of the body of work that you have. We highlight here my documentary and the various places that it has been featured and won awards for, my various appearances, so the different speaking events that I have been at in previous engagements. Of course, I highlight my book with a cover photo of it, the video podcast show that I hosted, as well as my signature trainings and workshops. I also feature the various different speaking retreats that I offer, my 90-day mentorship program, as well as my membership. And again, this is so that if I am delivering this to a prospective client, they can get a sense for all of the work that I do, and have that as an option. I share the testimonials from various places that I have spoken at, as well as if you take a look at the website, you'll see my client testimonials, and then how people can book me. And I also make this available, obviously, on my website. But this is a great way for you to easily email someone a comprehensive look at your body of work that goes beyond just your speaker's one sheet and into your media kit. Having a speaker's sheet is really just the start of all things. You're going to need a variety of different marketing tools and tactics to present yourself as a speaker. And you're in the right place because I've got a special free training for you. You can simply go to darieth.com/speaker marketing. The link is also at the bottom of this page in the description to register for a free web class where I talk about some key ingredients that you need for an effective speaker marketing plan. So I really want to encourage you to go ahead and register for that training to get some additional tools that you'll need. And listen, no matter what, it is truly a crowded marketplace out there. There are people all over the place looking to get speaking gigs. And whether they're online or offline, you really do need to figure out how to up the ante and showcase yourself as a speaker. Here's the final takeaway to all of this. No matter what, be expressive. Go ahead and show your creativity in your speaker's sheet and all of the marketing that you do. Simply because, as I said, it is crowded and you do want to dazzle. You want people to understand exactly who you are, what you have to offer, and your presentation in your speaker's sheet is so really important. So figure out ways to make it shine, to make it dazzle, to make it uniquely yours so you do stand out in the marketplace. You don't want to be a blah, blah, blah speaker. You want to be a rah, rah, rah speaker, right? And so part of that is even showing up in your speaker's one sheet before they decide that you are the magic that they want on stage. And listen, if this is great for you and you're enjoying this and you haven't already, please do me a huge favor and go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you can be forewarned on every video that I put out. And speaking of videos, you might want to check out this video. In this video, I talk about you setting up your speaker's fees, particularly for authors, and how best to negotiate your worth. So check that video out. Be sure to check out all of the other videos on my channel, and I'll look forward to seeing you soon.